Welcome all, Bernie here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook. Looking at the DXY on the daily, we do have a little bit of a change here. We do have a higher high here now, breaking this top. So if we get a correction in here, you could look for more upside. The lower time frames, we may get some sort of a flat, like an A, B, C, and then an A, B, C, some sort of a flat before we get more upside. So I'll be looking for at least a C down and then a buy setup before I look for a buy. AU, we're still in this wave 3. Looking at this 1, 2, 3, we're still in this wave 3. Get a wave 4, and then we look for a wave 5 up. H4, we're still in this wave 4. We're waiting on this time factor, and then we can look to trade this wave 5 up. GU, just looking at this last part here. Been looking for this C down for a while now. It's been very slow, but it is starting to go. Looking for this like A, like this A, B, and a C up. I should take these arrows off. It's already pretty much played out how we're looking at it. So we got this C down in here. It didn't quite go as far as I would have liked in here. I would have liked that to get a little bit further up, but we did get an A, B, C in here. Running flat before we got an A, B, C. I'd be very careful here. I dare say that there still could get more downside. You know, I'm looking at possibly down to this 100 fib. So was a shorter term buy in here, just for an A, B, C. If we do get a sell set up, you definitely could look for a sell to go and break the low. Other than that, you're pretty much already be in the buy. It's already broken this top here over here, so very risky to be getting into the buy now. Yeah, so just wait to see what happens here. I mean, if this turns motive, well, then you could wait for a wave 4 and trade a wave 5 up, or you just get an A, B, C here, and then a sell set up. And then you could look to sell to go and break this low. So we're really just on the sideline here at the moment on GU to see how far this goes. Like I said, if you're on it, I'd be getting it to break even because we have broken this top here now. EU, we're looking at a large flat in here as well, like an A, a B, and then we get a C up. We have bounced off that 100 fib on the weekly. This is a 100 fib here, but it looks like we're getting this correction. We're looking for this one down as well, similar to GU. Looking at like this A, B, and a C down here to finish off this flat. And then if we got a buy set up, well, then we could look to buy to go and break that top. on the H4, it's very similar to GU. I was looking for a little bit more upside in here before we get this one down. But just like GU, we didn't get much of this upside. Instead, it pretty much fell over. But, we did get 3 down here. So that's what I was looking for. I'll remove them. Again, this one may turn motive here. So we have to be quite careful. This could turn into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish off this C wave. So, though it looks rather bullish at the moment on the lower time frames, you really, if you're looking to trade this, which you could, if you're looking to look, I'd be just looking for an A, B, C here, similar to GU. And if you're lucky, it turns motive, and that is the end of the wave C on the higher time frame. But I'd just be looking for an A, B, C here. Definitely want to be at break even at the break of that top. And then we'll see, if it gives us a sell set up, well, then we'll look for a sell to go and break the low. Or it turns motive and we look for like a wave 3, a wave 4, you add in your wave 4 and you trade that wave 5 up. So, yeah. And you never really played out nicely. We got that A, very deep correction in the B wave, and we're looking for that C up. It didn't quite hit that 100 pip target. On the H4, I was looking for this a wave 5 up here. It's still possible, but yeah, it's really on the lower time frames, and it's similar to EU, GU, where we have this impulse up here. So you could look for one up in here, like for an A, B, C. Again, you'd want to be at break even at the break of this top, because it could just give it a C up and then come down and break the low again. If it turns motive, well, you could look to add in the wave 4 and trade that wave 5 up as well. GY, looking at that WXY, waiting for this X2, and then we trade that wave Z up. Excuse me. There is a bull hidden here, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does go up and break the top. We've got to be very careful here, because this, it may not be the start of the correction yet, this X2. Like I mentioned, well, like I've been mentioning, there's 2 scenarios here. This is an A, a B, and a C expanding flat here, and we go up and break the top. Or this is the top of the wave Y, and we got a 1, 2, and we could, it may just be an A, B, C, but it may turn motive as well. So we're looking at this to sell after we got these 5 down on the lower time frame here. At this stage, you can see it's rather bullish in here. Very similar to, the other majors have gone over. We'll get another one up in here. It's already broken out, so to go and trade it now, you'd want some sort of a correction in here to buy, and again, you'd want to be at break even at the break of that top, because all this may be correction. and you just get 3 up, and then it comes down, breaks the low. UI, it's very difficult. Like I said last week, this is it could really go either way here. I'm looking at this wave 4. It's a very complex correction. We already had the uh, 3 down. Well, a correction after we had those 5 up. So this could turn even more complex now, because after this C down, we got a nice impulse up, but it comes straight back down. So we have all these impulses, and this one's looking like the most corrective wave. So we may get some sort of a flat here, like an A, B, C, before we get more upside. So yeah, I'd be very careful with this, especially buying it up the top here. Yeah. USD CAD, we were looking for this wave Y to be broken, and it was over here in that wave Z. This is very similar to UY. You know, get an A, a B, get a C, flat, and then we get an A, B, C. There is no buy setup on this yet, so you got to wait for a buy setup before you can trade this flat. Well, this C up, like this A, B, C up. Without that buy setup, you can't just go and jump into a buy willy nilly without any decent setup, bullish setup, or else, because this could come and break that low. So we're just pretty much sitting on the sideline here, waiting for this to finish. It may turn expanding. I don't really want it to break that low, because I'm looking at a correction here like that A, B, and a C up. We've got that A, B, C in the middle. So I don't really want to see this low broken, but price may just come back down and just break this low here before we get the buy set up. So we'll have to just watch it and see if we do get that buy set up. If you don't get the buy set up, well, you don't take it. And it's really just a scalp up, anyway, in that C up, because all this is looking bearish still. Same with the Swissy here. Looking at that A, B, C, a bounce clean off that 100 fib there. But again, it may not be over. Like I've been saying for quite some time now, this can turn, well, it looks to be motive like 1, 2, 3. We wait for a wave 4, and then we get a wave 5 down, breaking the low. And this is our time factor here. So, again, have to be careful if you're looking for the buy here on the lower time frames. At this stage, you can really only buy it. There's no sell. I mean, for the sell, this would have to come down and break that low, and then we could look for a sell setup. But at this stage, we're sort of getting 3 down in here. So if you got a nice impulse up, a bullish setup, well, you could scalp to go and break the top here. And that's all it really is, just scalping at this stage. EG, we got these 5 up in here. I'm looking at that A, B, C flat. We got a nice impulse up here, and I thought this might have gone, but it's still possibly a flat. I'm still looking for upside, like an A, a B, and we get a C up in here, and we got like an A, B, C expanding flat in the B wave. So again, if we do get a buy setup, we can look to buy to go and break the top, like for that A, B, C, and this may turn motive as well, because of what happened on that daily. I'm looking for another 5 up. We got 5, 3, and looking for 5, possible 5 up there. So if we get a bullish setup, it'll be good. Well, WTI's hit the target, that 100 fib. Was very slow in here, but it finally went, and yeah, it's got to the first target there. It looks very bullish. Ever since this low here was broken over here, we've been looking for that buy for that wave C up, and it's finally got there. That's not to say that this is over in any way. It's still very much bullish. There's no signs of sells. So really, with any, we got to wait for some sort of a correction before we can look to buy. Yeah. So you're going to be sitting on the sideline if you're not on this. And if you're on the buy, well, you could start to look to take half off and wait for the correction to add. At this stage, I wouldn't be going scalping up the top here. It has gone straight through that 100 fib. So the next target would be that 123.6. And then, that 161.8, and we get expanding flat. But yeah, either way, you got to get a correction, some sort of a correction before you can buy. So, there's really not much to do on that now. It's already gone. Same with gold. We got the 5 up on my daily, waiting for a correction, waiting for a larger correction. We do have this bull hidden here, like I've been mentioning over and over again. So this can be, like I showed last week, we get an A, a B, and a C flat. Then we get an A, B, C, and this may or may not go and break that top with that bull hidden. So, yeah, I'd be looking for a buy. I mean, it's a risky buy, but this does look like a flat in here. So again, looking for a C up, that A, B, C. Sort of. Yeah, I mean, it's not the best looking setup, that's for sure. Even on the lower time frames, it's not a very nice looking buy setup. But if you got a little correction, you could look for a buy. Again, you'd want to be at break even at the break of this top, because it may just turn out to be an A, B, and a C up, and gives you more downside. So you definitely want to be at break even at that top. Silver, we're looking for this B wave. Ever since we had this large spike up, we got a spike down. Been waiting for this A. We get a B and a C down in here. Finish off this like A, B, and then we can look for more upside. It's looking rather bearish at the moment. But again, this could be that flat. Then we get an A, B, and a C up before we get more downside, or it goes and breaks the top. So very similar to gold. We're looking for a buy after this in here for that. But again, this can be a flat here. and we get more upside. So if you do get a buy set up on the lower time frames, you could look for it. And again, like the others, as soon as that top's broken, you want to be at break even, because again, it may just be an A, B, C, and it comes down and breaks the low. Bitcoin, looking for buys on this. We had the 5 up here. If I zoom out, we had the 5 up. We got an A, B, and a C. I'm looking at that larger flat there. It's a buy. We were looking for buys on this, if you remember, and there were a few opportunities for buys. Again, it's as soon as that top there is broken, you've got to be at break even, because it can turn out to be an A, a B, and we get a C up, and that's it, and then it comes down, breaks the low. So again, this has been quite difficult to trade. Because this was the impulse here, and we had a deep correction to start off with. We got a nice break out of this trend line, nice opportunity to buy, and again it comes straight back down. Same here. Same here. We got a breakout correction, then another breakout. This one went, but it's come straight back down, take out. So I'd be starting to be looking for sells now, because this can be like an A, a B, and a C complete here, and we've got a rather impulsive wave here. There's no sell on it yet, because at this stage there is a possible bull hidden here. But if that bull hidden gets taken out, I'd be looking for a sell. So if this comes down, breaks this low here, and then we get a bearish setup, well, you could look for a sell to go and break the lows. So at this stage, it's very much, well, sorry, this low over here. But again, we got to wait. You got to wait for that low there to be broken, and then wait for a correction, and then you could look for sells. At this stage, it's still very much bullish, because we do have that bull hidden. But again, you go down to the lower time frames, and there is no buy set up on it. So I won't bother going down to the lower time frames. S&P 500 pretty much staying out of this. You can look for any sell setup you get. We're right at that, well, second target on the weekly, that 161.8 in the wave 5. You can see how much resistance is here. Still very much bullish. We don't have any spike down or anything like that. That's why it's very difficult to trade this. It can really go either way. It's sort of sitting up the top here in a range. It's already played out there, but yeah, be very careful here. You're really only trading this if you're experienced trader. So AU 200, we got 3 up here. Last week, we're looking for any sell setup you get, you're selling. And yeah, we had this spike down from the top. You got a little correction in there. You're either on it or you're not. If you're not on it, well, you can't just jump on it now. You're either on it or you're not. And we were looking for that last week on the weekly outlook. So yeah, UCAB was the same. So I won't even show it on the daily. Well, I'll just quickly go to the daily. But we're looking for any sell setup. We got a lot of upside here. We're looking for any sell setup, and on the lower time frames, this was. If I just go down to the H1, so this was what we were looking at last week. We've got a nice impulse. If you get any correction, we're looking for a sell. So again, you're either on it or you're not. you're either on the sell or you're not. It's already gone. So, and it was the same with the DXY as well. So we already had the 3 up here, A, B, C, and we're looking for more downside in here. And yeah, so again, you're either on it or you're not. This one here, you may get another opportunity, like you may get an A, B, C here running flat, or running or expanding flat, and you may get a sell setup, another sell setup. But yeah, hope you got something out of this weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.